Today I want to go through the 3 top foods that you should be eating to get all day energy. If you're noticing you're sluggish, you're run down, you're just burnt out at the end of a long day event, conference, works, function that you need to be a part of, then this is going to be a really good training for you. If you're not sure who I am, I'm Ollie Wood, the founder of The Body Reset. We work with career-driven professionals and business owners over 40 around New Zealand, Australia, and really around the world. And we've helped a lot of them now. We've worked with over 1,700 clients now. We work in a one-to-one and group setting, and we really go deep on understanding deeper levels of health, sustainability, gut health, blood work, all of the rest to really find the most sustainable, effective, and smart solution for you that you're actually going to use the rest of your life. So that's kind of what we do. But what I want to go through today really quickly is what those 3 top foods is I would recommend if you're going into a big work function, conference, meeting along those lines where you're noticing your energy is a little bit low. And I posted this up in the chat this morning. I get comments like this or questions and messages like this every single week. Hey Ollie, what are the kind of foods I should be eating to get the most out of this kind of day and this high performance space and peak physical and mental state that I need to be in for these events? So I'm going to go through those top 3 foods, and I'm going to go through at the end the big reason or big shift that happens once we get over about 38 to 45 that is really important for us to understand as well. So please stick around for that one as well. All right. So the first one I want to go through is an awareness of collagen. It's a protein powder. It's a protein substance that we recommend a ton, typically as we start to get clients away from a lot of vegetarian protein sources or whey protein sources if they're noticing there's a lot of gut upset. But really overall, we find it to be really foundationally beneficial for so many clients for so many reasons. And I think most people look at collagen in the beauty space and they've seen it through skin, hair, nails, and absolutely it has a benefit there. It makes you look young and all of these things because it's allowing certain amino acids like glycine to really help that elasticity of the skin. That's really what it's doing. But there's a lot more to it. And when we look at it through a cognitive lens, there's actually some really nice benefits from a cognitive function and actually brain plasticity, learning new things space. It's really interesting when you look into the science around it. I've found huge benefit of it from a recovery and joint health standpoint. I've had a fair few injuries, but from a brain focus standpoint, I think it has some real benefits there and it's been scientifically backed to do so. So I wanted to add that one in simply because it's out of the norm, probably one that you're not usually aware of, certainly not for that function. We look at the collagen protein powder as really quite a good option. The second one that I'll add in here is MCT powder or coconut oil. The reason I add this one in specifically as a fat source is because it's a medium chain triglyceride. That's what MCT stands for. Now, without going into the science of it too much, it's essentially a smaller chain of fatty acids. That means it's easier absorbed into the bloodstream, which means you get a lot quicker energy than a standard fat strain or sequence like an avocado or olive oil, etc. Now, all of those can be beneficial, but if you're looking for quick, fast energy, easily digestible, an MCT powder can be really helpful. And again, it's quite easy to bring along with you. It's a simple powder form. The third one that I want to add in, you'll start to see a sequence through these, is a greens powder. Now, the reason I've gone through all 3, and you've said, hang on, Ollie, I'm looking for foods. Now, absolutely, we are really big on sticking to whole foods as your foundation, but I wanted to keep this really simple as things that you could add in that you're probably not having, but also make sure that if you're traveling, going away for work, usually where those kind of conference situations are, it makes a really big difference to make sure you can bring it with you. So, I was over in Orlando in the States 3 weeks ago now, and these were three powders or foods that I brought along with me to make sure I was hitting those key nutrients to stay sharp for my 5-day event. So the last one there was the greens powder, and I think that's a really beneficial one because most people from a nutritional lens only ever look at macronutrients, protein, carbs, fats. Right? When we start to look through the lens of micronutrients and understanding how much of an immense benefit that has by boosting up those main nutrients that you need in your body to really function, stay alert, and have high energy throughout the day. I think it's a really important part to take into account. So micros over macros there a little bit. All right. So it sort of comes back to one of our main concepts we use with our clients all of the time, which is count colors, not calories. Right. It's a really nice way to just add more vibrancy, more colors to your meals. One, you enjoy it more, but 2, you'll get a lot more energy out of your food because you're actually starting to get more of those nutrients, not just macronutrients out of your food. Now, if you're looking for a good example of a good greens powder, New Zest is a company that originally started in New Zealand. They've been around for about 12 to 15 years now, or at least that's how long I've been following them. They are across Australia, US, and everywhere else now, and they've done really, really well. You'll know it probably best as Good Greens stuff. It's a really high quality protein greens powder. I think they have a really nice foundation of some of these things come through in regards of having a broad spectrum of all the main nutrients, all the main high quality ingredients that you want in a greens powder like this. And we've been using these with our clients for a little while now, and I think I'm really happy with them, and so have our clients. So we're actually going to give you access to a secret discount code that we only ever use with our clients, because you're obviously watching through on this video as well. So if you use the code META, META, on the New Zest website, that works New Zealand, US, Australia, and everywhere else, this discount code gets you, I think it's 10 to 15% off. So that's the one we recommend. That's one I use personally, and especially when I'm traveling, I take with me. And to summarize, we're looking at a collagen protein, an MCT powder, and a greens powder, right? All three very simple options that you can take along with you, and really high quality nutrients and ingredients that really keep that brain function sharp. Now, what I wanted to finish off with that I promised I would go through is what's actually going on here. What are these shifts that are happening with our body to cause our energy to be lower, these dips and dives happening, or we're just not seeing the energy as high as we usually do? The main thing that happens over time, and this is ultimately an incremental process, is you'll see as a kid, and you'll probably see with your own kids, in your teens and early 20s, you get away with a lot more carbohydrate. Generally, you're moving more, you might have been leaner, but your body generally, when you're younger, tends to use carbohydrates much better. Now, it's a natural sort of evolution over time that as we get older, we will start to not utilize carbs as well. And this comes through a lot of cascading processes inside the body, but one being main sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and females progesterone as well, being on a general decline. Insulin sensitivity tends to drop a little bit. But on top of that, things like protein synthesis or your ability to repair muscle tissue tends to reduce also. So all that to say, carbohydrates generally get stored easier. It's easier to put body fat on, right? I'm sure many of us experience that. I certainly have. So seeing that decline over time in our consumption of it is generally a good thing. Now, it doesn't mean carbs are bad. There are huge benefits to carbs in certain times of the day. And I think the timing in nutrients is such an overlooked aspect that really is a core foundation of our program of where you would put those carbohydrates in the day. But the second aspect of that is, okay, well, if we're having less carbs, what are we having more of? Proteins and fats. What were the first two I went through? Collagen protein, right, and a diverse range of amino acids that we're not usually exposed to, things like tryptophan and glycine, and these amino acids that we don't usually have enough of in our general diet. And then things like MCT powder, boosting up general fats in the body that isn't coming from a trans fat or a saturated fat space, that generally is going to boost that overall macronutrient. So we're moving away from carbs as being our main source, and we're moving closer towards protein and fats as being a foundational element of our nutrition plan. And again, it's all about balancing these through. It's simply the ratios that we're working with. And of course, we work with clients to personalize that as much as we can. But where we're going with this is taking the time. One of the things I was going to say there is the problem with this is what we generally see is as we get older, there's a general inclination to actually go more carbohydrate heavier. Because as we're not looking after our gut, we're not looking after our digestion, we tend to notice, or that I've noticed, a lot more people end up having more and more carbs, and what we call carbivores, right? 80-90% of their diet is just purely carbs. There's breads and pastas and potatoes and everything in there. Again, not they're bad, it's just the ratio is far out, right? So taking the time to look at having a better foundational element of the protein and fats, I think is a really, really beneficial space and focus for most people as we enter our 40s, 50s, 60s, and certainly beyond. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you a bit more of a background concept to really understand why we have given you the recommendation of these three. Hopefully they're nice and simple. They're nice and easy for you to utilize. And again, if you want access to breaking this down into simple habits through the day, I think our 5-day challenge would be a fantastic place to start. We've got a male and female version of this that beyond simply the foods you eat, how do we structure our day and the way we eat to really optimize the habits that really allow us to show up feeling good, energetic, sharp all day long. If you want access to that training, again, just comment 5-day challenge below. We'll send that one through. And hopefully, again, today's training was beneficial. Hopefully it gave you a little bit of insight into a question I get asked every week. And I hope that was you're having a great week so far. There'll be a couple of videos around this page that I'm sure will go deeper into areas. So if you're looking at hormone health, blood work, gut health, areas of really optimizing what you're going through, if you're watching on YouTube or on the Facebook group, there will likely be more videos on there as well. So until next time, see you later. Bye.